Welcome to the Hair Notes podcast. I am your host, Maxine Green, owner and master stylist of Curly Dimension Salon. This podcast was created intentionally to assist you on your natural hair journey. Each week we will cover topics on products, topics that you have questions about, that you need clarity about. So if you're looking for a space and a place to get some clarification on what's the next step in your natural hair journey, this is the place for you. Every week, a new episode will drop. So grab a notepad and a pen and let's dive into today's episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Hair Notes podcast, another episode of the Hair Notes podcast. I am having a conversation with my girl, Stacy from True Beauty Studio in Plainfield, New Jersey, in Springfield, New Jersey, right? So I just wanted to have this conversation. This is like long overdue, right, Stacy? And so we wanted to like chop it up a little. We're going to chop it up a little bit and talk about hair replacements. And as you guys know, I wanted to talk about all things curly hair, all things hair. And so this episode is going to be so fire. And I'm so excited. So welcome to the Hair Notes podcast, right? So if this is your first time catching me in an episode, my name is Maxine Green, and I'm the owner and master stylist at Curly Dimension Salon. And I want to just introduce my girl, right? She is an amazing hair replacement specialist. And so as I mentioned earlier, she's based in Springfield, New Jersey. But I know you guys had tons of questions from the last episode. And so I wanted to really kind of piggyback off of that episode into this and really get someone who actually does the hair replacement, right? Or create custom units for curly girls who are, who are either thinning or losing their hair or starting that process, right? So if you're not sure and you wanted to know, this is that episode for you. So without further ado, let's get into this episode.
Yes, let's
All right, Stacy, come in. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the
hair. Like Maxine said, my name is Stacy Hammond. I am the owner of True Beauty Hair Studio and Hair Loss Center located in Springfield, New Jersey. And I am a hair replacement specialist. So I replace what you no longer have. So I don't consider myself a person who is trying to necessarily grow your hair back, but my clients usually have anywhere between 50 to 100% hair loss, permanent hair loss. So I deal with those clients that need hair replaced because it's no longer growing. They did the homework, they did the work to make sure that it's no longer growing, and they come see me.
Awesome. So I had like a couple questions, right? And
sure.
I prepared a few questions, of course.
Sure.
But I wanted to, because this is because so many women are losing their hair, right, at such an exponential rate. And I wanted to it's like really it's really awe-striking for me, right, as a hairstylist that works with textured hair, right? And I'm seeing women are losing their hair, and for many different reasons. And it could be just from medication. Some women are on very high dosage of high blood pressure medication or thyroid and or both, right? And so you're starting to see severe thinning, and as a result, ultimately losing, more of the hair. And then we have scalp conditions such as retraction alopecia and whatnot, right? So there's so many women in particular in the African American community that are suffering with hair loss. So I want you to speak to those women, right? When would you recommend to a client or a customer or a guest, when is the first time that you can have that conversation? If a client comes in for a consultation, what's your first direction, right? Your first instruction as to why a custom hair unit that you create will be beneficial for her.
Okay. So when a client does come in for a consultation, I do a pre-consultation form. And that's before they even get here. It's just so I have an idea of what issues that they're dealing with, what medications they're taking. So I can kind of get an idea before they get here. So it's not like pulling teeth when they do. So when they do come in, we talk a little bit and just kind of so I can get to know them and they can get to know me. I introduce myself and then we go ahead and we start to look at the scalp and their hair and just really talk about the desires that they want. I personally, like I said, I don't, my goal is to give you back what you no longer have. And if I notice that you can grow your hair back, I do, first of all, well, the first question too is, have you seen a dermatologist that specializes in hair loss? That's a main question, and either a trichologist, which is a person that deals with the scalp and hair only. So I ask those two questions, and if they're like, no, I did it, I saw one 10 years ago. I'm like, okay, I need you to see one again recently, and that deals with hair loss, because a lot of times people just say, oh, I just went to a dermatologist and they just told me stop relaxing my hair. And I'm like, it's more to the story. So I definitely push that, and I'll send them to the website that Dr. Osei had recommended, Docs for Hair. And so I direct them there and I say, look, find someone first and then come back to me, tell me what's going on. And most likely the doctor does give them like a printout of what's going on. And if it's like something that is, I don't want to say curable, but something that can grow the hair back, at that point, I honestly, I part ways just because that's not my specialty.
Right.
And what if they do come back and say, hey, she said my follicles are dead, it's not growing back. There's what if it's a diagnosis such as that. And at that point, I go and I take steps to figure out what options, because I do have different options. So it's not like one size fit all. You're getting a hair replacement unit that we're going to adhere on with liquid adhesive, and that's it. Right. It's like, okay, well, maybe we can sew the back on because you do have hair. Right. Maybe we can, we might have to adhere the front because you no longer have a hairline. Yeah. So we'll do it that way. And then, but at the same time, I am still maintaining, we're doing the treatments or deep conditioning treatments to just maintain what they do have. So, right. And that's the steps what we do. And then, we just go from there. And if they begin to progress, because sometimes with medication, with stress, just different things in their lives, trauma can cause hair loss. So, and then we'll take steps to maybe change that technique. Yeah. Or figure something else out. But so at the end of the day, I always tell my client, I say, you have options. So don't think the first thing is, oh, I'm going to have to shave my head and then now adhere something on. That's not the case at all. Right. So people have hope, and there's options, and you can actually use your own hair. Yeah. At some point. Yeah.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. Really?
You can, yeah. Oh, definitely. If you have hair in the back, if you have a hairline and you just may have thinning in the top, I can just make a topper. So now I can just blend, if you like to wear a blowout, even if you like to wear a natural look now with the technology today, you have these companies are creating Afro texture and the 4Bs and 4Cs and all this and all that stuff. But there's so there's different textures that you can do to blend in with your own hair. It is trial and error in the beginning because just finding the right fit sometimes may take a couple times. But then once we find it, what it is, we can easily blend that in with your hair. So a client, just for instance, a client may have a thinning top and they just need a topper, but their hair. So in the summer, they might go with the more afro-y curly look. Okay. And then in the winter, because they like to get it blown out, we can, do a straight look. So they can have 2 units that they just rotate between. And just have different styles, but it still looks natural, still something that they easily can maintain. And it's definitely affordable. So
yeah, I love that. I love the fact that you said that, because then it makes it look so much more natural for them. And so they don't have to worry about it looking too wiggy. Because I know there's some hair pieces that can look a little wiggy. And I know clients are often concerned about the look. They want it to be as natural as close to what they want to look like themselves, right? Exactly. They want to look like someone else.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I love a couple of things that you said that I really love. The first thing is that for sure, seek guidance or seek the counsel of a dermatologist
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
you can even think about getting a hair replacement unit, right?
Mhm.
And then really be mindful of what those instructions are from your derm, like whether you need to do or
Right.
you need to start on a process of, getting the scalp back to healthy before, because
Right.
if you're having scalp issues, right, you don't
Right.
want to add a unit on top of that, then to kind of,
Right.
expose that a little bit more. You want to make sure
Exactly.
that you're in a good space and a place to,
Mhm.
your scalp at least is in a good
Yeah.
place and space to accept that unit. I
Yeah.
love that you said that. The other thing that I love that you said is that your consultation, you do an intake consultation with your clients.
Mhm.
So you know exactly where they are and where
Yep.
they're trying to go,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
no longer a blindsided an appointment where you come
Mhm.
in, because that's such a very personal and intimate thing for clients, because when you think about it, our
Mhm.
hair is the first thing that the human eye gravitates to, right? So we want to make
Exactly.
sure that we're looking our best, and certainly when we look our best, we feel our best, correct?
Right.
So
Right.
I
Exactly.
love that you do that for clients. It's really giving them the option and really getting to know who the guest
Yeah.
is and what kind of lifestyle they lead on a daily basis. So that's perfect.
Right.
Um, because this is not my lane, right? I'm a curly hair specialist, and so this is
Uh-huh.
not my lane, but I do know that there's so many clients. I do see quite a number of clients who are thinning in that top area, as you mentioned, and they can get a topper.
Yeah.
How is when you are creating a topper for a curly girl, right?
Mhm.
Is that topper something that she can replace nightly, or she can take off nightly and then replace it back? Or how long does the topper last? And
Mhm.
is this something that, because my concern for her is like, I want to make sure that her scalp is still being able to breathe,
Right.
right? And
Right.
so, because this is not my lane, certainly, I definitely want to ask you, the expert,
Right. Right.
when creating those custom toppers, are
Mhm.
they replaceable at night? Are they coming off at night and then replace back on in the morning? Like,
Right.
how does that work?
So it's really optional. It all depends on what the client desires. If they are very active, a lot of times they're like, yeah, I don't want to take this off. And at that point, like I said, it all depends on where they are. Um, if they have a decent amount of hair loss that is permanent, at
Mhm.
that point, I'm like, okay, we can adhere that on. However, if it, I, there are certain clients that I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that because I know what happens if I start this process of adhering something on. It's just like when anything, you do it too much, and eventually it's going to um, remove anything that's there. So I'm cautious with that. So some of my clients, they'll do clip-ins,
Okay.
which you just clip in. They
Mhm.
take it off at night, let their scalp breathe. Although the toppers are breathable, so it's not like it's something enclosed that your scalp is getting smothered.
Mhm.
So you could just take it off at night and you put it on your mannequin head, and then in the morning you put it right back on and keep going. And those last, when you remove it on a regular basis like that, they can last a pretty, I would say anywhere between 6 to 8 months, because and it might be a little bit longer depending on the client, because some clients are really rough with their hair
Mhm.
and they don't maintain it like they really, really should. And so, some people feel like, hey, I could just throw it on the bed, and I do stress my clients. I'm like, you have to maintain it as if it was growing out of your scalp, even if you can remove it, because this is an investment. This is not something you just get at the beauty supply, right? It's an investment, and you want to keep it looking always nice and healthy and looking like it's part of your hair.
100%.
So it can last. It has some longevity.
Mhm.
And like I said, every client is different. So you just have to really maintain it. And then me being the stylist, it's like when they do come in to get their hair done, I'm also maintaining the unit. I'm washing and conditioning it. So it always looks good and fresh. So, and then I can catch it. I'm like, hey, this is thinning out. let's think about getting another one. So maybe now rotating the two can help also give some more longevity to the units as well. But yeah, you definitely can take it off. And like I said, there are options of putting it on. Some I might sew on, some I might microlink, and that all depends on the health of their hair that I'm going to use to attach it to. So if it's very fragile, I won't do microlinks. Clip-ins, it is good. However, over time, you're going to have to move the clips around, because if you clip it in the same spot every time, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get some damage there. So, every couple of months, we shift the clips, move it around a little bit. Even if you move it, one inch to the left or 1 inch to the right, you're moving it so it's not sitting on the same spot every time. Right. Clients should not be sleeping in clip-ins and stuff like I don't think so. It's not good. Do take it off and cover your own hair, cover the rest of your hair like you should, and they'll be fine.
Awesome. So based on that about 6 to 8 months time frame, right, that the toppers can last, or the units last for them,
right?
What's there? And I know you mentioned that you generally when they come in, you will take care of it, take it off, and kind of like then express to them if it needs to be replaced. But for the guests, right? How are they maintaining the unit at home? And is there a special shampoo that they need to use? They still use the same thing that they're using on their own hair on the unit.
Right. So yeah, as far as like the shampoos are concerned, I use a moisturizing conditioning shampoo, which softens the hair. It is sulfate free, paraben free, has no those chemicals in it, so it keeps the hair soft. But you could also use it on your own hair as well. So yeah, I do recommend that washing. If you don't see me, I guess, let's say if you're wearing a topper, most clients don't see me on a regular basis. But if you do, you can just, wait till you see me, or at home, at least I would say anywhere between a week to a week and a half, you probably should wash it, or do a, if it's curly hair, you definitely want to do a co-wash.
Right.
You can definitely do a co-wash. I love the co-washes with the curly hair. It just softens the hair up. You don't need necessarily a shampoo to strip out a lot of the product, because it's usually, I tell my clients, you put a product in that first day, and then sometimes you may need a little water to kind of reactivate that product. You don't necessarily have to put product back in it. So a lot of product may not be built up, so you don't need the shampoo. But not every other, at least a week to a week and a half, definitely shampoo it and condition it. Let the conditioner sit, rinse that out, and then just let it, dry on your mannequin stand. And that's how you maintain. Or they can just drop it off to me. And then that's a service I do provide. They're like, I have a couple of clients. They're like, look, I don't know what I'm doing. Drop it off, and then, same day service, and they'll come back. So yeah.
I'm sure that makes life easy for them, right?
Oh yes. I have clients, it's hilarious. They're like, I don't do hair. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's funny, because being a hairstylist, it's like, this is easy. But for somebody that's just not, that's hair challenged, I guess you could say, it's like, yeah, I'll just drop this off. It doesn't, I don't even care. I'm just drop it off. I'll let you maintain it. And usually, at that point, it stays a little healthier. The clients that see me on a regular basis, their hair seems to last a little bit longer, just because I know how to maintain it, and sometimes clients, you tell them what to do, and then some do their own thing.
That is not the truth, girl. That is a word, okay?
Yeah, you're like, didn't I tell you not to do that? But okay.
Whole word.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to ask, if there are some clients who are apprehensive as to, how do I get the hair? Where do I get the hair? Is there something that she provides? Is there something that you provide? Where do I start with that? And I know that that's part of your questionnaire, right? That includes part of your questionnaire.
Not necessarily where to get the hair, because I provide that. If you're coming to me, I can't speak for all hair replacement specialists, but most of us have vendors that we purchase hair from. And so, but we do talk about textures. We talk about, lengths. We talk about color, and what do those things look like. So, Yeah, that's part of that, the conversation and the pre-consultation, a little bit is what you want. And then I ask them, hey, send me pictures of what you used to look like before your hair loss, and then show me what you want. And usually most clients are consistent in looking the same, because a lot of them, I don't want to look like I did something. And I say, but I also encourage them, hey, live out, hey, if you're getting a full unit, do something different, add a little streak, add a little color. And usually a lot of times they do, and they're like, they feel so much better. And then when people see them, it's not like, oh, she got a wig. It's like, oh, wow, what did you do to your hair? And you're like, oh, I just got some color added. And people are like, oh, okay. And it throws people off. So I always tell people when they do come in for, and they're like, I don't want people to know. I don't. Most of the time, people, the average eye, or if they're not a hairstylist, they don't really know. They may know something was done, but they don't know what it is. And then, but I said, like, adding color, cutting it. Maybe they're used to seeing you with, shoulder length hair. Now, hey, get a cute bob or get a shortcut. And then it's like, oh my God, your hair looks so good. And you're like, just decide to cut it. And so it helps that process, so they don't feel like everyone's looking at them.
Right.
But yeah, I do encourage them to be a little adventurous, to just try something outside the box a little bit, out of their comfort zone, just so, I don't know, it does, at the end of the day, they feel like, they feel gorgeous, they feel beautiful and confident.
Right. That's awesome. I love that you said that.
Mhm.
So I want to talk to you because there's something that you mentioned earlier, and I want to kind of go back to it. You mentioned that there are clip-ins, that some of the units have clip-ins, right? And I'm assuming that there are some, if it doesn't have a clip-in, there's an adhesive then attached to it to be able to be attached to the scalp.
Yeah.
So my question is, when do you use clip-ins and when do you use the adhesive?
Clip-ins would be if they do choose to take it off. If they want to take a unit off, that's when I would do definitely clip-ins, or we do a band, a wig band, something like that. So it still gives a hold, so they don't feel like it's going to come off with wind, or if somebody hugs them or something like that. So, but that's rare. Usually most clients that have hair loss, they want it, they want to keep it down. They want to go to bed and just tie it up and get up and it's still there. They want to have a romantic evening with their spouse, their significant other, and not worry, oh my God, is this thing gonna come off? So most clients that have a liquid adhesive or a tape adhesive, they choose to just, I want to keep it down. But there are, like I said, there are other options. You don't have to adhere it. And we maybe only can hear it. Like I had a client recently, she was a brand new client, and we sewed it in the back, and we did a little bit adhesive from here to here, and that was it. Everything else I was able to stitch down. So she still had the adhesive, but it wasn't like the whole head. A lot of things we're seeing on YouTube and a lot of things we're seeing on social media, women are shaving their head and just blowing the whole thing down. And I mean, and then that's fine. That's what you want. That's what you want. But I try to encourage my clients to keep what they have. Let's use that. And let's try doing a little bit. And then there's different types of adhesives. There's strong ones, there's mild ones. So every client is different. We do a patch test before we do anything and make sure there's no reaction. And it's sometime in the beginning, trial and error. I may try, depending on the client and their age, if they're active, I might try something on the mild side. And then it's oh, that didn't work. That didn't stay down. Let's stay down for a good week. No, okay, let's try something else. And then we just go for there and just trying different methods and not methods, but different adhesive products. Because there's liquid and then there's the tape. So there's different options. So it's whatever I want my clients to feel as comfortable as I can, but I'm also very honest of what we do. If I put this on your head and there's a chance that any little hairs that you want to salvage, there's most likely it's going to most likely over time it's gonna pull it out. It is.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. I was sitting here thinking about one particular client in particular because
Mhm.
struggles with thinning on the very crown or
Okay.
um, um that horseshoe section of the head, right? So
Mm.
that's where a lot more women are losing their hair, right?
Yeah.
And to your point earlier, we often lose our hair or we see thinning
Mm.
for different reasons or come from
Yeah.
different reasons, and one of those it could be stress, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
trauma or
Yeah.
what we're using or what we're intaking.
Mm-hmm.
I know this particular client, she has, I think this is very hereditary for her because
Yeah.
it came from mom and then she's seen it in herself. And, but I know that it bothers her.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just want to like help her so much, right?
Yeah.
I want to give her back that confidence.
Yeah.
She's not confident enough, but I feel like she can be a little bit more confident if her hair
Mm.
looks good for her or the way she would like it to look.
Right. Right.
How important is it, right? How important is because oftentimes we refer to ourselves as therapists, right?
Yeah.
We're constantly consoling, we're constantly comforting, we're constantly being the voice of reason. And I know
Right.
the clients look to us for guidance, and
Mhm.
knowledge because of course we're the expertise within our fields.
Right. Right.
Important is it for someone's mindset
Ooh.
be in a great place or to be in a place to receive
Mm.
or just even to be in a space to say, you know what, I'm ready, right? How important is that customer or that guest mindset to
Mm.
you?
Ooh, that's a good question, Max. Yeah, wow. So I'm gonna say, just from my own experiences, most of my clients, by the time they get to me, um, they're at that hopeless state, like nothing's gonna work, nothing. I feel like they feel like crap. Let's just say that. And they don't feel good about themselves. So, um, me as a hairstylist, but also as a hair replacement specialist, and just as a female, you know, knowing what I may not have hair loss, but I've dealt with some issues that cause my self-confidence to go down. So I it's very important as a hairstylist, you just kind of take your time, listen to what they're saying, listen to their heart. Um, me being a Christian, I do pray over my establishment every time that I get here, that I pray that, whatever that they're dealing with, by the time they leave, that thing has lifted, I've uplifted their spirit.
Yeah.
Whether it's just a consultation day. A lot of clients say, well, I had one particular client, love her dearly. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. She's fairly new. And she came to me. When she walked in, she was nervous. And I was like, what's the matter? And she's just like, I don't know, just nervous. I don't know what to expect. And I'm like, I'm like, and so I go into like, we girl. And I think it's important for, like I said, hairstylists, that are in this particular specialty. You really have to show empathy. You really have to humble yourself, and you really just have to kind of just like, uh, be that girlfriend for them at that moment. I guess you're the hairstylist, you're the professional, but sometimes you need to come down to their level and just
Mhm.
just like, girl, we got this. Don't worry about it. And I just comforted her, and I was just telling her what, I reiterated what I do, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just talking. And as we gone through the consultation, by the time she left, she was like, oh my gosh, I gotta bring my mother here. Oh my God. She was like, okay, I feel it. Like I feel the joy. I feel that there's hope now. So she came in with with a negative mindset. Not that I was going to do something wrong, but she just didn't know, because the places she's been going just couldn't help her, or she didn't feel like they did enough. And it's important that we as stylists help change that mindset and just give them that support, that comfort, so they know, like, hey, I got you, don't worry about it. And we're going to take this slow, we're going to take this easy, because every woman is not ready to just be like, yep, I'm done, shave my head, let's put this on. And I have a few of those that are ready, like, I've been doing searching and I've been looking, and let's just go ahead and do it. And then there's some that I really have to like handhold
Yeah.
and just walk them through those steps. But yeah, having that, they're all going to come in different with different mindsets. And so you just have to learn and listen and really yeah. As like I said, I ask God, okay, what do I need to do here? How do I need to say it? What do I need to say? And yeah. And I gotta say, I've been blessed where I've had clients, they leave here. I mean, they come in one way and they leave very happy. I believe with the hair, yes, they're happy, but I think something else is on the inside has kind of like broken. Their confidence is now is they feel better about themselves. That low self-esteem is now like, oh, okay, I am beautiful.
Yeah.
And I constantly share that with them, that even though they have hair loss, you're beautiful. That's what true beauty is about. It's not about the outside, it's about the inside. So yeah, I just constantly just feed them that while they're here. And so when they leave, they're on a different high.
I love that. And I love that you said that's what true beauty is, right?
Yeah.
I think so often as women, we tend to, when we start to lose certain things that we're so familiar with, right?
Yes.
Our weight, our hair, those are things that affect us indirectly or directly, right? And so we start to see this new person that we don't recognize. And oftentimes we lose ourselves within, taking care of everyone else, and we forget ourselves, right? So I see women who come into the salon and they say to me, I forgot what my hair looks like. And at that point, their hair is such a state that it may not be salvable, or it's like, where do I start? Right. And how do I go from the woman that I used to know or look like the woman that I used to know?
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
How do I get back to me? How do I get back to and get my pet back? Right. So that's why I love what we do. Right. I love this industry. I think it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's one of the best industries, and we are so I really truly believe that we're doing God's work, because we are in such a space to not only encourage, to your point, but to uplift and pour into, and to just give women a safe space, right? To feel beautiful. So I love the fact that your space is called True Beauty, right? Because it's really encompassing everything about who you are as an individual.
Exactly.
Right? Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a safe space. Clients, just the atmosphere is set, and it's just, they feel like home almost, They're like, wow, I play my Christian music, and it's like the atmosphere. And the funny thing is, like, a lot of them, as I'm doing their hair, they're falling asleep. And it could be a first time client. It was a first time client, and she was knocked out. And I was just like, and I let her sleep. I let her rest. And I did what I had to do. And we didn't even have to talk at that moment. But she felt, when she got up and saw her, she was like, wow, okay. But I love that fact that they feel so at peace, and they feel like, I'm okay. I don't have to watch and make sure someone's coming in to see, my nakedness, so to speak. It's just the client and myself, and we're just, I let them just what's the word, let their hair down, so to speak. They just feel like, I can breathe, I'm good, I'm safe. So I love receiving those remarks or those reviews when clients are like, oh my God, the atmosphere is nice. And that's that's what I love. That's one of the things that I love to show and have those clients feel.
I love that. So I want to, it's interesting, right? Like I'm seeing the women, right? And I'm seeing even men, right? Because there are men who are also losing their hair. And I know that we cater more to women, or you cater more to women. But what if a man wants to reach out and have a hair replacement? Like, is that something that you do? Or even, let's say it's a couple and notice, right, that they're thinning for whatever reason, and want to just come in. Now, how do you approach that?
I do service men as well.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, I do. And I do all textures. So it's
Oh,
not one particular texture. So right now I have a handful of men. I do love my men, but I love my women. I love to something about the women that I love to work on. But yes, I do have my men, and men go through the same issues. Everybody's not ready to shave their head, as far as the men are concerned. They whether I have some that are not married yet, and
mm.
they're like, because well, this one particular client, he started young. He was, whew, I think he would just started college, and
Wow.
yeah, I've had younger. I've had high schoolers.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. It's and a lot of times it's hereditary. Sometimes it's alopecia, some type of form of alopecia, um, cancer, leukemia. I've had little boys, leukemia. So it is, I don't get those too often, but I have dealt with and in this, like I said, particular instance, this guy, he was starting college, and now he's out of college, and he's grown man, but he's not married yet. And so we're working towards making him feel, I don't want to say normal, because I don't like that word necessarily, but making him feel like
Right.
he's yeah, he's normal. That he doesn't have the hair loss. So we
Mhm.
work towards that, and I service him. And but yeah, a guy comes in, same method, same in terms of the consultation, what is it that they're looking for? They are a little bit easier because it's usually the top. I haven't had anybody that I did as far as a guy full head. They are out there. But most of my guys have male pattern baldness just at the top, and we fill that in with a hair replacement unit. We use the same liquid adhesive and everything, and they usually see me every 3 to 4 weeks, and to help maintain. Some do go to a barber. I wouldn't say I'm a barber, but I can cut a little bit, so I might send them out to a barber um here and there. But other than that, they come in and they're fine. I do love my guys. They're a little bit easier and quicker to do. However, my women, they that's my true ministry, I would say.
You're doing the Lord's work, honey.
Yes, I am doing the Lord's work for the women's.
Right. So let's go back for a second, and I want to talk about, let's say the client a client, new client, or a new guest comes in, and
Mhm.
so because a lot of women wore a lot of braids and weaves a long time ago or back in the day, and they still doing it right to this day. But I
Mhm.
believe that the application of how it was how it was put in, right? Or
Mhm.
the consistent over time wearing it really gave them the thinness on the hairline as well as in the
Yeah.
center of their heads, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you have a case where there's a client and she's like, there's no follicle, there's nothing,
Mhm.
completely clean.
Right.
How do you address that?
Um,
How do you not only address it, but then do you decide what adhesive to use based
mhm.
on the scalp?
No. Adhesive is really just based on how active they are. Are they sweaters? Are they
Mm,
going through the change? Which a lot of my clientele base, they're going through the change.
right,
And what activity, is going on. Some are swimmers, because you can't swim with this.
right.
So that all depends on that. So a lot of times, I'm gonna be honest, most of my clients are on the same adhesive.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just if I notice something different, if I notice that they had irritation, if I
Mhm.
notice it's not staying on as long. So
Right.
then we go down the line and ask questions like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing different? Are you taking medication? Because
Mhm.
there is medication. If you start something new, that can allow the adhesive to not stick like it should.
Right.
So that's another thing. So it's just asking those right questions of how to go about it. If a client does come in, no follicles, no nothing, yeah, we go into exactly, okay, let's figure out what we want to do. Do you want to be straight? Do you want to be curly? Do you want, a short pixie cut? Like we going through all of that, and then we, like I said, do a patch test, and then we go from there. If there's absolutely no follicles, if there's nothing really can do. So I would not send them to a dermatologist at that point.
Yeah.
And that's usually, I have some clients that come and they just are completely, it's like they might have like a little bit of hairline in the
Yeah.
sides, and that's it. And they're just completely just, you see maybe like little sparks of hair here and there. And at that point, I'm like, I'm not, I don't say, hey, your hair's not growing back, so let's just go ahead and do this. No, but
Right.
I do talk to them, because at that point, most clients that come in like that, they're ready. I don't even have to talk them into anything, or not say that I do, but I don't have to say, hey, well, let's think about, nope. They're like, nope, let's do this. I've been like this for 10 years and I'm ready. I'm ready. One young lady said, I watched you for a year. She followed me for a year and she said, you know what? I think, let me try her. And she's there, and she's been coming to me for quite some time now. So a lot of these clients, like I said, they come to me, by the time they get to me, they're done. I've tried, I did the research, I did the homework. I would say at least 98% of them that find me are already at that I'm done state. And then those other 2%, I have sent other clients away to dermatologists that said, hey, I I don't feel comfortable doing anything. And some clients are like, no, you can do it. I don't care. And I'm like, no, because I don't want you to come back and say, oh my gosh, she took my hair out. And no. So even if I have you sign something, doesn't matter. I'd rather you do the homework and go see a dermatologist, see a trichologist, maybe see a hairstylist that specializes in growing the hair back. That's, and I'll send you there. And then at a later date, if you feel like, you're not feel like, but if your hair has come out, then at that point, yes, you can come see me. But until then, I don't feel comfortable. It won't sit well with me if I'm covering something.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be at that point. So
Yeah, I understand that. That's so good. I love that.
Yeah.
I know I'm sure clients appreciate that, right? That you're
Yeah.
so
Oh yeah. Yeah.
your
Yeah.
first thought or your first order is to really make sure that they're comfortable with where they're trying to go and really understand, right?
Yeah.
So the safety and the health of their hair is super important, right?
Right.
I love this, right? I love this so much that this is going to help so many women who are having questions about. There are those women or those clients who've already seek the advice from a derm, and maybe they're they're in the process of being treated, or and they've already gone through their treatment, and at this point it's nothing that the treatment is not working. It's nothing that derm can do. It's irreversible. It could be hereditary. Do you get what I mean? And so at this point they're just like, I'm ready. Give me, I'm ready for this change. So I do understand what you said when you said, by the time they get to you, because they've already done their research, right? It's already all or nothing. It has to work or it doesn't have to work. It's so funny. I was in a class this weekend, just this past weekend, and that's what the mentor said. It has to work or it does, or it has to work, right? There's no other option. So I love that you did that. Like by the time they follow you, they know what you're capable of. So they come in and they're charged and they're ready to go and they're committed. They're committed to the process. And it's you have to trust the process, right? Because that's why you're here.
Right.
So based on that, right?
Can I just put a plug in really quick? Not a plug in.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just before you finish up, because of what you were saying, I as the clients they're doing their research in terms of figuring out what's going on with their scalp and stuff like that. But I also want them to do the research on the stylist, because everybody that says they're a hair replacement stylist, may not know the real deal. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how to say that. I want people to do the homework, do the work. You know, even if you, I know clients that did drive-bys. Hey, let me see where she at, what's going on. Let me look at the building. Like, do what you need to do, because you want to be somewhere that's safe. You want to be somewhere that you have the privacy. A lot of my clients have said, I love the fact that you can shut that door and no one is walking in. No one's walking in over my head. Like, because I have a lot of clients that just a little on the paranoid side, and you know, and so I don't fully understand it because I don't have hair loss. However, I empathize, and I want to make sure that they're okay, because when they're safe, or when they feel safe, they're you're just able to create something great, I would say, on their hair. When they're tensed up and they feeling like, oh, I can't, I feel like you really can't do what you're supposed to do. So I really, your audience, your clients, I mean, no, your clients, your audience, I definitely want you to look at your stylist, look at the stylist, whether you're in here in Jersey or whether you're in another state. Just do the homework and make sure that you're dealing with someone that does know what they're doing, and not just putting something on you and causing more issues over time. So that's all. All right,
Sure.
go ahead.
No, for sure. I think that's important, right? That's
Yeah.
important because you have to do your research, because ultimately
Yeah.
this is you're directly on your scalp. So you want to
It
make
is.
sure not only are they using good adhesive, they're using
Yeah,
good treatments. You want to make
exactly.
sure the hair is going to be is good here, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that the installment of that hair is done well, right? Because not every, and to your point, no two hair replacement specialists are alike, right?
No.
So
No.
anybody can say, I'm a replacement specialist, and kind of slap something on and then charge you a
Exactly.
price. But for
Yeah.
you, it's all about the love and care, and it's making
Yeah.
sure that your clients feel comfortable and
Yeah.
safe and secure within
Yeah.
your space, right? Because that's
Right.
important.
Right.
Because at this point, when women when we lose our hair, we lose a sense of security. It's like a security
Yes.
blanket for us,
Yeah.
right? So our
Yep.
insecurities come out. And there are women who may not have never been insecure, right? But here they are now
Oh
with
boy.
hair loss
Yes.
in the prime of their life, when they should be enjoying life to the fullest. Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean? And now they're
Yes.
like insecure because they don't have the hair as they did
Exactly.
when they were in their 20s and their teens and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's important to
Yeah.
create that and cultivate that environment so that they feel
Definitely.
comfortable. I do understand that. That's so important. So I'm
Yeah.
so glad you
Yeah.
interject and you mentioned
Yeah.
that, because it's super important. And having the clients do the work, right? Do
work.
the
Yeah.
research, do your work,
Yeah.
right? It's one thing to research a stylist, but ask questions, ask the right
Yeah.
questions, know what to
Right.
ask and how to
Yeah.
ask, right? Even
Yeah.
if you're going for a consultation, ask, and don't be
Right.
afraid to ask those
Exactly. Please
questions.
don't. And
Yeah.
hairstylists, those who want to get into the field, get connected with someone maybe in your area that's doing it, that has succeeded in certain areas. So, don't just look at YouTube to find out what it is, because like one of my clients, she bought adhesive off of Amazon, and she broke out. And even though, it might have said the logo of the actual company, sometimes you don't know what you're getting. So you have to be very careful what you're doing. So, clients as well as hairstylists, you want to get into this world, you have that love for people, that love for women and helping women, by all means, hook up with someone. Don't be afraid, and clients, do the homework, do the work so you can find that perfect fit.
Amen. Find you a good mentor. Find you
Yes, 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 yes.
mentor, right? Because it's all about knowing what you do, right? Because if you
Mhm.
show up every day and do what you love and create and give women
Mhm.
the ability to feel beautiful about themselves,
Yeah,
it's golden.
it
It's golden,
is.
right? Life is golden at that.
Yes.
I love this conversation so much. And I'm so
Yeah,
glad we got an
it's
opportunity
good.
to do this
Yeah.
conversation, to talk about this. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Ooh.
I know what
Thank you, Max. Thank
oh,
you.
you're so welcome, my love. You're
I
so welcome.
appreciate it. I love talking about it. So.
I know you do. I know you do. You know, you were lighting up like a Christmas tree, like so I know you do. I love it. This has been so good, y'all. This has been so good, so informative, and I do hope, my prayer, my hope is that the women who are listening to this conversation, their takeaway would be, I need to get into the chair, or I need to sit in someone's chair who is not only caring, but who's concerned about my well-being, and who takes time, right, with her craft to hone craft, right, so that she can give me what I need, which is to make to feel beautiful again, or to feel confident again. Right. So I love that. I love that. I really hope that women hear and see your heart. Because I know off the camera you have the big heart. So
thank you.
I love that. I want you to tell everybody where they can find you and how they can get in touch with you, whether to book a consultation or you know, just to research, right? Doing the research.
Do the homework, right?
They're doing the homework. How can the audience get in touch with you?
Okay, so I'm like I said, I'm located in New Jersey. You can actually Instagram True Beauty _hair is my Instagram page. I'm on Facebook. You can actually Google. Most of my clients just Google me and they find out information there. But definitely, if you do want to book a consultation, you can go on my website. Go on my website, truebeautyhairstudio.com, and you can you'll see it's all easy to do. Just take the steps to book the consultation, and you'll be on my schedule before you know it. And then we can sit down and talk. And like I said, I might be able to help. Excuse me. And I may not be able to help in terms of, you might be not there where most of my clients are. But sometimes just getting that information and just, and I can direct you to the right person that will help you get where you need to go. So yeah, that's how you can kind of just social media across the board.
So you guys, if you are looking for a hair replacement specialist, if you are you don't have to sit at home and worry about how I look or miss those family events, those major family moments, right? Simply because you don't want anyone to see how you look, right? Because you were so concerned about your appearance as it regards to your hair. And I get it. I totally get it, right? As a female myself, I do, when my hair is not done right, or I don't feel it, right? You get an extra confident, extra boost in your confidence. You get extra pep. So you guys definitely reach out to Stacy at True Beauty Studio. She will certainly take care of you. Any questions, any concerns, you can certainly reach out to her. So I know we covered a lot today, and this is like a jam-packed episode. And so I'm gonna have to break this episode down in 2 parts. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna have to break it down in 2 parts because there was so much that was talked about here, and I loved it. So yeah, this is gonna be so good. I love it. I'm excited. So yeah, I'm really going to break this down in 2 parts because this was so good.
All right.
But thank you so much. Until the next episode, y'all, have an amazing week.
Yes.
Be blessed, everybody.
All right. Bye.